So in this video, we're going to replace these glide belts right here. They get worn out. They do need to be replaced when they're worn out. In order to do that though, you need to make sure your pedals are down this far. You're going to be able to have to remove this screw and this screw. And then over here, we have to loosen this up. Now we don't want to pull it all the way out. We just want to loosen it up so that we can see so that it releases this gearbox. This whole gearbox right here pulls out, and that's how you get to these. And we'll be doing both sides of those. I'll be with you in a minute. So I'm also going to be removing this cover right here. Makes it easier to get inside there. And I'm also going to remove the front cover as well. It just gives me more room to work with tools. So it's just a screw on the top, 2 screws, and then you slide it out. They're tucked in with these little metal clips right here, so pretty easy to take out and easy to put back in. I've taken the battery off, moved it out of the way, laid my stair climber down on a table so I can work on it easier. You'll want to do the same thing. And here's what I was talking about. Here's your bolt on the outside. Here's your bolt on the inside. This nut here, you don't want to loosen that. You don't need to. That is to stop the big screw here from going in far and going in too far. So that's a little bit farther than what I need. I'll probably move that back in a little bit more, but it's just to allow the wheel to freely rotate. But as you can see on the inside here, you got this right here, this space right here. That's where that screw comes through. You can see, I'm trying to get you in here, on the inside, this is that bolt coming through. So what I want to do is I want to get it past this plate, this plate here, and stop just inside of this black one. I don't want to pull it all the way out. It's just, we don't need to. So just keep that in mind. That's all we're going to do with it. All right, so those bolts, as you can see, are through the holes. So that's what we wanted, through those holes. And the wrench to use on this right here is a 15 by 16. So that's what I use to take those bolts off. So next, we want to take these 2 bolts out here on each side. Okay, so those 4 bolts are out. Now I used a 7/16 socket to take those out. As you can see, they're now freed up. That frees this whole section up to basically pull out. See that? It lifts out. So I'm going to lift it out and I'll be right to you. You see the gearbox is lifted out, and I just swung it over and laid it on top of the stair climber. Now here's your glide belt. So you got a nut out here and you got a bolt over here on this side. So you remove those 2 bolts and those 2 nuts, and then we put our new ones back in. So what I'm using here is a 9/16 socket, and you can see I've got a 5/8 inch wrench tucked inside that groove right there, and that groove helped me break my nut free. So pretty easy. You can see this is the new glide belt. And look at here, you see those kind of markings right there. So what that is that's a plate that basically fits just like this. So what I like to do is get them started, get it right over the hole, put my new screw in there, slip those in there, just like that. And then you get both of them in there before you put this on. You'll probably have to move your screw back out a little bit, but that's okay to get it started. But those are the braces for it. So that's what I'm doing next. There they go. You see the star washers on the outside behind the nuts. So then you have a regular washer on the other side, and that's how they fit. So I'm going to do the other side. So I got the gearbox put back to where it belongs. Now what you want to do, and how I do it, is I get one thing started. I get my 1 bolt right here started through the hole. This one is not. Come up here and I get 1 screw in right there. this one. And then I'm going to get one over here in this corner. And then I'm going to get this down here in. And then I'm going to come back and put these two back ones in so that they all line up easily. Now you can see I got all four of them started. Okay, like that. Both of these are through the holes, right here, and right there. So next we're going to tighten everything up. So that's it right there. You can see my bolts are tightened. My bolts are tightened, my wheels, they spin. They're not dragging. So the next thing to do, check your motor or your belt. So if your motor is pulling down on you, whenever you're pulling it, that's a good sign you need to either tighten the belt, the serpentine belt, or replace it if it stops tightening. And that's what really happens to people as you tighten them so much with this nut right here. Anytime it's loose, you tighten that back up. Eventually, it just won't tighten up, and then you have to replace the belt, or it'll break on you sometime. Anyway, I'm going to put this back together, and I'll be back with you in a minute.